Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. We are going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to be finishing off the courthouse project. We are going to be working on another project which we'll talk about in a bit. It's kind of a new project, you'll see what's going on with that. But first of all we're going to be talking about the Aber Caving tournament again because the last two matches have been played and it is time for the final. And the winners were Slip and Hypno. I hope I'm remembering that correctly. If I'm not, I'm terribly sorry, but we're going to put their names into the top of this thing right here, and I think we might be doing something special for the final. Now, what that is at the moment, I'm not really going to talk about too much because we need to have a meeting and discuss what we're going to do, but the final match will be soon, and then they'll be able to win all of those winnings over there in the chest. Now, we're not going to go and have a look at the winnings just because you know there's loads and loads of stuff. We don't need to go and see it again. So they are the winners. If you want to see the matches from the semi-finals, there'll be links to those in the description, and I'll be sure to let you know what's happening with the final when we figure out what's going on. But here's another thing. Look at these chests. They're still rammed full of potions, which is crazy. I'll probably just leave them there and say, free potions for whoever wants those ones when they're in the area. Anyway, we need to head. Actually, we're not going to be heading over to the courthouse. We're actually going to be taking a trip to Hypno's base first, and I guess I'll tell you about why we're over there when we arrive. We have arrived. This is Hypno's base. For those of you that don't know Hypno, he is an OG, an original hermit, and me and him have both been here since day one. And this is awesome. I love this place. You've got the towers in each corner of this courtyard-like area, and if you think the towers are pretty impressive, well, things get pretty crazy. Down below he has dug out a massive hole going all the way down to bedrock, where I think he plans to keep most of the things that go into his base. But the reason that we are over here is because Hypno said that I could borrow a villager from him to put in the courthouse. Now I've just spotted a couple of zombie guys invading over there. Good luck, the sun is about to come up and burn you to death. We'll leave them do their thing. And I was supposed to bring in a diamond as payment, which I actually haven't done because I've just been a little distracted. So I will make note of that and I will go back and grab a diamond and bring it back over here later in the episode. But he said I could take one from the top, and I think he means these ones right here, which is convenient because I know exactly how to take them out. We're just going to remove this block and put a minecart in there, and then we're going to be taking it back to the courthouse, which is going to be a little bit tricky because we've got to go through another portal. I imagine we're going to run into some problems with that, but I thought while we're here, why don't we have a quick look around Hypno's base. Now, one of the first things I've noticed is that he is breeding a lot of mushrooms. And do you care to take a guess at how many mushrooms there are right there? A heck of a lot. In fact, if we press F3, you get a rough idea. Around 80 at the most. I would have actually guessed more than that, I think. But there you go. Anyway, we want to go underground, and I did not mean to do that. I am sorry, Hypno. Don't worry, it will grow back. And we want to have a look down here. You can see that goes all the way down to the bedrock level, and there are several different levels of his base. So we're going to have a quick look around this. He's got this nice staircase that leads down to the level below, and he hasn't really done much in each of these areas yet. It's down at the bottom where he's done most of his work, and I wanted to show you guys this because he's working with the void fog. He's made the void fog give his base some atmosphere and character, and that's kind of something that I've been struggling with, and I think we need to embrace the void fog a little bit. So anyway, to get down to the bottom, as far as I can tell, we go down this ladder. And you can see it's very dark because the bottom area has been half slabbed off completely, which is pretty cool. We've got a slime farm on the side here, and then when we walk away from this central platform, you're going to see the void fog kick in. And there it is. That is really dark. You probably can't see a thing on YouTube right now, so I'm going to go back to the center. There was a sugarcane farm that he was working on down here, and I actually think that was in a separate area, so I think what I'm going to do is have a little bit of a look around and see if I can find that, because it looked especially cool down here at the bottom. So I've had a look around in this area. I've investigated these openings at each side of the circle, and I can't find the sugarcane farm, so I went and checked out Hypno's videos, and it would appear that he has a second ominous pit somewhere down in the void fog, and that's where he's put his sugarcane farm. So we should go back up to the surface and have a look for that. Aha! If we follow this rail right here, I think it's going to take us to where we want to go. This looks like what I saw in his video. We follow this, we go over a hill, and then there's going to be some glass leading down to a pit again. So I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around the corner here. Okay, this appears to be where the track goes down, so there it is, the glass at the top. That's crazy, that is, and then we can drop down right here. There we go. So another ominous pit down at the bedrock level. This one almost looks a little bit bigger than the other one, doesn't it? And as soon as we move away to the side, there comes the void fog, and this place gets pretty spooky. And I can see some cobwebs over there as well. That's interesting. I think he must have removed a mine shaft at this level and just left the cobwebs where they were. I like that. That's cool. I like stuff like that. I'm sure you know that already. And here is the sugarcane farm, which looks really cool down here in the void fog. I mean, that is a sight I've not really seen before in Minecraft. This kind of luminous green next to all this dark black. That is really cool. Very much like that. So we've had a look around Hypno's base, and I think it's time for us now to head back to the courthouse. We're going to take a villager with us, of course, to be a receptionist over there. And if you guys like the look of this place, be sure to check Hypno out, because he is an awesome LP. You know, he makes videos. He's really good at what he does, and I'm sure you'd find his videos enjoyable. And like I said, he's an original hermit. He's been here since day one, so a good reason to go and check him out. But I'm going to grab one of these villagers. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit tricky. I think if I put one there, and then put the minecart here, are we going to have a little bit of luck? No, I don't want to trade. Yes! First time. Excellent. Okay. I'm not prepared for this next bit. Let's just put a break in the track there. Excellent. Okay, we've got one. And the sun is going down, so I need to be quick with this. So our villager is in the Nether, and I just had an interesting thought when collecting up these rails. Now, the rails you can instant mine. I think you need efficiency 4 or 5, but we also have haste as well. But when you're in an environment when you can instantly mine them, there could also be blocks below that could be instantly mined, like stone or netherrack or something like that. And I just realised how convenient it is to use this combination of dirt to put your tracks on, because if you need to remove them individually, then you can do that without breaking the blocks below like that, because they're not instantly mined. And then you have a separate tool to instantly mine that block as well. So whenever you're setting up temporary tracks, I think it's a pretty good combination to use dirt and rails like this, because then you can go across, instantly get all of that, and it takes a bit of time to mine that block. And yeah, I think I made my point. Anyway, let's get back to the Nether. And here is a good example of why this is a problem. See, I'm going to go across like this, and I'm going to break the netherrack. Now I could try and aim my pick at just the right angle. Oh. I thought that might have not worked, but it did work. Oh, look at that. Oh, there we go. I changed my angle, but there you go. Let's try that again. No, okay, now I'm failing to do it. But you can see the problem here. So we're here, safe and sound. We've just got to push this guy up to the top. Now I have been working on the gardens outside. We're going to talk about that in a moment. You're going to see a little bit of that right now. Here it is on the side here, although I've kind of had to cut through this to get the track going into the middle. But let's send this guy up to the top. This is actually where the track runs out, so we want to put a block right there. And then just put down some tracks. But I haven't even thought about what we're going to do when we get him up here, because we've got to get him all the way around into there, which is going to be a little bit tricky, I think. Or maybe not. It could actually be quite simple. I don't know. I've got to think about it. So there is a whole row of signs here that are in the way. I think we're just going to go over the top, because I had to remove the ones on the side there. And that should do it, I think. Yep, it's going to turn. Nope, that's incorrect. We've got to go up one here. Okay, I think the way that we're going to do this is remove this block, because remember there's a fence post under there. Then we will put another dirt block. Well, that was wrong. We're going to remove that one, and then we'll put down 2 dirt blocks here. And then it's pretty simple, isn't it? We just push the guy in, and then before we take him out on the minecart, we put the fence post back down, we put this back up here, and then it should all be good. Should all be good. Let's try. Something's probably going to go wrong. I find when you're moving mobs around, doing things like this, something always goes wrong that you didn't think about. And so far it's gone so well that something has to go wrong now. It's sod's law. Alright, there we go. Ooh, might have taken damage on that, I'm not sure, but he didn't, so let's continue moving forward. I don't think there's any blocks that are going to be above his head or anything like that. Nope, now you're going to drop down into that gap with a little bit of a nudge. Yes, and you go in the right direction, and that's a half slab. Okay, No, that's actually a full block, but he didn't take damage, so we're still good. In you go. Where are the hordes of zombies to kill you? I don't see them. And it would appear that he's in there safe and sound. Okay, let's close this up. We need... And my track's gone down there. I tell you what, it can stay down there, it's fine. We need the slab there, we need our carpet on top of the fence post, and then technically you shouldn't be able to escape even though it's open. So, are you going to stay put? Of course you are. No, you're going to fall underground. Brilliant. I did not see that coming. Let's relog. Okay, logging back in. And he's there. It's all good. You can keep the minecart as well. I'm going to tidy this up now. So we've done it. We have a receptionist. We've got to give this guy a name. Post a comment down below. Leave a suggestion. We want something funny for when people come over here to the courthouse. And I really have zero ideas. But I'm sure some of you can come up with a pun. Something to do with justice or the courthouse in general. I don't know. Now there is a few changes that I want to make here based on comments and suggestions. We have these two things. We've also got an item frame. There was an item that I wanted to put in... on the front of this block in the item frame, and it was going to represent, you know, that the judge sits here, but I can't remember what the item was, but I brought the frames with me anyway. So one of the things that we want to do is to put down a jukebox. Oh. I crafted a jukebox. I was supposed to craft a note block. Damn it. Oh well. I will go and craft one of those. We're going to put it underneath the hammer or something like that, so when you hit this, it makes a noise. And the other thing that was suggested is that instead of having this little bit here like we do at the moment, that's the wrong tool, we could have an enchantment table there, which I think looks pretty cool actually. It looks a little bit out of place because of this, but then I really like, you know, how the book looks. And one thing we could actually do is put an item frame here. That kind of covers it up a little bit, makes it look a little bit cleaner, and we could even put one of those in the middle of it. Nah, that looks a little bit silly, that last touch, but I think that like that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I think that'll do for now. So the note block is in place, and when we hit the hammer, we hear the noise, which is pretty cool. But the problem here is that the note block, the way I see it at the moment, is either going to go there or on the side here, and it's kind of difficult to put it in a place where it looks more suitable. So if we were to put it here with the lever on top of it, because the lever is directly on top of the note block, it's not going to make a sound. Same thing if we were to put it down here. And then I was thinking about putting it where the stairs are with a piece of redstone on top, and then the redstone would stop it making sound as well. And then it kind of just occurred to me that one thing we could do is put the note block here and the lever on the side. But then it doesn't make the thud noise like when it has stone below it. So I don't know at the moment. I'm going to put that back and just leave it for now. If you have a suggestion for a solution to that, something that will look good and have the lever in this position and make the right sound, then please do post it in the comments. But there we go. That is that for now. We'll probably make a few more changes to that in the future, but I feel like the courthouse now is kind of finished. We have our receptionist, who's looking over there. And now let's talk about the outside. So, the mistake that I made with this lawn is that I forgot that it was a lawn. You know, I looked at it more as a garden, and of course you're not going to have too many plants on your lawn because it's looked after, you've been mowing it, etc. And one of the common things that was pointed out in the comments is that I should have done this going the other way. It would have looked nice going this way across the front, but it would have also made these bits down the back here look a little bit better, because the way the stripes go down this narrow bit, it doesn't look too interesting. But I'm going to leave it like this for now. I think it looks alright, and what I've done is I put, you know, the occasional flowers down, and I've kind of created a couple of overgrown areas on the side. So over here we've got some bushes. I think some of these have light sources below them, and that's one of the things I've been doing in this area, is removing torches, putting down carpets like this with jack-o'-lanterns underneath, and sometimes I've got bushes with jack-o'-lanterns underneath as well. But there you go. There's also one on this side over here which I think looks pretty cool. Kind of use the trees to decide where to put this border, and then behind it it's a little more overgrown, and I spent quite a bit of time here just placing down leaf blocks and different flowers going all the way back there, and then you've got the occasional flower like this. Now these flower beds at the front here, they kind of look ugly, don't they? They don't really look that great. I put it together, I thought, not really sure if that works, and I just decided to leave it. So what we have are 3 of the 2 high towers, and they're all at different heights, and it doesn't really look that great. And I don't know what I want to do about that. I'm going to leave it for now. Another thing I need to do is to patch this up as well. But we are done with this project for now, I'd say. And it's time to move on to the next thing. So our project for this episode is to finish the station here that Zombie Cleo has been working on really hard for a long time now. And she's done with it. She says it's fine for me and Red Eyes to take over. That was kind of the plan, that she would do the aesthetics and then me and Red Eyes would come in and do the technical stuff. Now, me and Red Eyes have been talking about what we want to do. We're still figuring things out, and it looks like we're going to be creating some sort of station where you drop down below, because there isn't really a lot of room, but that was kind of always the idea. This would be very aesthetical. You go in here and then there would be like a hidden minecart station. So at the moment that's looking like it might be a button that you press and then you drop down below the train into a little selection area, or maybe there'll be something going on over here with the item frames in 1.8, so you would turn this and then you'd press a button to go to where you wanted to go. Something along those lines is what's going to be happening. So what I need to do now is just finish up a few things here. We need to sort out the portal at this end. We also need to wrap up the edges here because they're kind of open into the Nether, which is not what we want, I think. It's certainly not what I want, but I think everyone will like it if we added some sort of end to the track here. So I'm thinking that we will have a kind of arch that goes round, and then we'll probably take this back a few blocks and then it will just be black wall to kind of represent the tunnel, you know, going off into the darkness, and then we'll wrap around the ceiling to match that. So we're going to be doing that at this side and this side as well. We also want to make that arch big enough for the train that's here to go through. That's really important because otherwise it could look really silly. So we're going to be doing that at both ends, so an arch on either side, and then on the opposite end from where we're going to have the portal, I think what we want to do is have a staircase that goes up over here as well, and then it's just going to turn left and right, so that way it will take you out into the Nether. Now if you wanted to go into the Nether on the other side, then I guess the thing we'll do is have the portal, and you'll be able to walk through the portal to get, you know, into the Nether on the other side. So we have our work cut out for us. There's quite a lot to do, and I think it's just time to get on with it. So I almost forgot, but then I remembered. So I came back over here, and we're just going to put an item frame here with a diamond in it. Do you know what, if there was an anvil around here, which there probably is somewhere, I would have renamed that, maybe leave a little message on it, but there we go, he'll know who that's from. Anyway, let's head back to the train station. So I've started off by putting one of the tunnel ends into position, and we probably have one of the most obscured views of this. Wherever you look at it from, something's in the way, like these chests. And I've got to say, building an archway like this is never going to be a work of art. It's just something that's basic and kind of works. If we go up the top here, you can see that the train would be able to pass through it, which I think is very important. But because of the size of the station and the size of the train in it, it doesn't mean the arch is ever going to be that dramatically curved or anything like that. It's very basic and straightforward. And so I decided to do this with a 2-block ridge and then have the wall behind it. I think originally I wanted to make it go a little further back, but then that's going to be kind of restricting on what you can do back here, as well as we're going to have this space being occupied, and then the same thing is going to happen at the other end. So I think what I need to do now is just fill in the half slabs around it so it goes all the way over to the edge, so we can see what this looks like with a wall there. And I think I'm going to have to move these chests around as well, and they are full of netherrack, which is going to be a pain to move, but it's not the worst thing in the world, I guess. So look at that. I've moved the chests, they're out of the way. There's a few left, but I've done the tunnels on either side now, and it looks alright. I think it looks pretty good. We should step back here and have a look. Looks alright, doesn't it? Now, you may have noticed that I have the fire resistance particles on. Always keep a fire potion on you when you're in the Nether. Do you want to know why? Because you never know when you're going to fall into lava. Now, this gave me a heart attack. It really did this time. Sometimes you say that because it makes you jump. This time I really did kind of panic, and what happened was I had placed a load of these blocks back here, and I realised that you couldn't even see them. So I thought, well, why should they be there? And I dug all the way down, and when I removed the last one, there was an ominous pit of lava all the way down there below me. That really made me panic when I fell down. And then I looked at my hotbar, I said, I've got a fire resistance potion, and before you knew it I was alright. Now, I think I would have died if I had hit something. Luckily it was actually a lava lake that I fell into, so all is good. And there is one small problem, and Zombie Cleo, if you're watching this video, you've done a fantastic job with this, so if you're OCD in any way, don't worry about it, but this over here is actually one block shorter than on the other side. So if we have a look over here, you can see there is this 1 block gap on this side, and on the other side is a 2 block gap. Now I thought I was building this wrong when I was trying to figure out how close that should be to the ceiling, and it's just because it's off by 1 block, which isn't really a big deal, and I doubt anyone will notice, but there you go, it's 2 blocks on that side, and I'm not worried about that. Now what I am worried about is that it's very grey at the end here, and I'm wondering, should I try and throw in some extra colours or anything like that? But I think if we try and do anything fancy, we're going to take away from, you know, the nicer view, which is what's going on in the centre. So we're also going to build a little area behind here, but I haven't got around to doing that just yet. And the next thing I'm going to do is go down to this end and do the same thing all over again. And here it is down at the other end. You can see I've done the tunnel on that side. We've done it on this side as well. And when building it over here, I realised that where this ridge is, it's in line with this. So if the train were to go through it, which of course it can't do, it would actually clip with the edge of that. Now, one of the things that has been kind of bugging me a little bit while I've been building this is that it's not going to be symmetrical at either end, because this little slope leading up to the top starts a lot sooner than it does at the other end. So I was thinking about extending the whole tunnel further back, so we would have the same gap here, and then the stairs would start and you'd have the tunnels at the same place on this side, but then it would throw the old Hermiton sign, you know, out from the middle, which is where it is at the moment. So I've decided to just leave it like this, and then I've been thinking about what are we going to do here. Do we start the staircase straight away? And my original idea for this was that the staircase would go up and then it would go left and right. Whereas I think what I'm going to do is make it go back and then go left and right and then have a staircase on either side. Now at the moment what I'm worrying about is how can I make this look interesting, because it's going to be very easy just to use tons and tons of slabs, and at the moment I don't really have too many ideas for making this look that different. But what we're probably going to do is put down some slabs here like this, and then just have it turn around the back of this black wall. And by the way, this black wall is flammable, and when I was placing down the ones on this side, there was actually a lava spot just behind where the wall is, and then there was another one over here as well, but luckily it didn't catch on fire, so it seems to be okay at the moment. Well, I am not in the most creative or artistic of moods right now. I haven't really given too much thought to this project. I thought it would be fairly straightforward. We'd come in, we'd finish up the ends of the station, and then we'd be ready for me and Red Eyes to come in here and do all of the redstone magic and stuff like that. Whereas I didn't really think about, you know, this staircase that's needed down the other end, and it feels to me like what I've built is very bland, which it is, because it's all just made out of stone slabs, and probably it could be a little bit nicer than this, but I just don't have the ideas at the moment. So one thing that I focused on that I think works is the shape. The shape of the ceiling is nice, the position of this glowstone for lighting is pretty cool, and the stairs are alright, but it's all made out of stone slabs. Now I was thinking I could do something like putting some blocks on the side in stripes to add a little bit of colour and variation, but it wouldn't really look that great, and so I think I'm going to leave this. Maybe if Zombie Cleo wants to come over and change some things here, that kind of creative input would be more than welcome. But I did try and do one thing, and I'm not going to defend this. I think it looks awful. My thought here was that we could have a little flower bed, put in some 2 high flowers, and then put something blue behind it so it looks like maybe it's a window to the overworld or something like that, and it doesn't really look that great at all. I mean, if you look at the bushes here, where they're positioned, the way they're done, they look really nice, and then that over there just kind of looks like a bit half-assed, doesn't it? So I'm going to leave that. Whoever wants to change it is more than welcome to, and I think we're just going to crack on and finish this now. I'm not going to really focus on trying to bring anything else to this. We're just going to use the stone slabs and finish up the bit on this side. So this is the last thing to do. We want to be able to walk through this portal, so on the other side here we're going to have a square room, and then it's just going to have I'm not really sure what it's going to have actually. It's just going to be a square room that will let you walk out, you know, into these areas over here. So it's probably going to have a back wall here and just something that you can walk out of on either side, and then that will lead to the Nether wart farm, which we built quite some time ago, and if you walk out the other side it will take you onto the ice path. And I'm probably going to do this up at some point. We're talking about building a station where you can use mine carts, but I also want to keep in the option to walk as well. So at the top here we'll probably turn this into a proper tunnel now that we have our Nether hub done. So we are done here. Let's turn around and look at the spectacular marvel of the arrangement of stone bricks here. Look at this. That is a work of art. Have you ever seen something so square, so simple, and it absolutely sucks, doesn't it? I tell you what, I've had no time to think about this at all, like I've already said, and then coming to do it, I'm just making, you know, a room that serves a purpose, and that is to kind of divide up the ways that we get into this nether hub. We want to kind of close off the nether itself from the outside. So this bit right here, just, yep, a load of chests. They're all full of netherrack. I've moved all of the netherrack that's been lying around in random chests to here. I've also moved all of the items left over from Cleo's building. So if you're watching this, Cleo, there are all of your items. And that is about it. There's nothing much more to say about this. Now, I think this room will probably look a little better when someone's come along here and made a tunnel that goes somewhere or something like that, so it doesn't immediately expose you to the outside. But if anyone wants to change this, if you've got inspiration for it, then go ahead, because I really just didn't have the inspiration today, and when it came to building it, I was just like, well, I'm just gonna go with function, because we need something like this to close it off from the outside nether. So one thing that I might do soon is actually build a tunnel here. Now, I know other people will want to do that as well, and I might build a tunnel that goes over to my place and also stops off at all of these other portals. So this one right here, I can't actually remember what this one's for. Let's go through and have a look. I know what some of the other portals go to. And, aha, this is to the, yes, the building in the sky next to Monkey Farm's skull. And it looks like he's put a mirror? A window in the side of his head. Yes, excellent. Okay, so we know what that one is. But my tunnel will probably do that. It will go past all the other ones, and so you can drop off at any of them. And there's quite a few. There's the desert, the old desert. There's the end portal. Then you've got the ice track. Ice track? I'm really struggling, aren't I? The ice ring, you know, for getting ice. That's not what it is. It's an ice tray. Oh, there we go. Got there in the end. You've got the squid farm, and then somewhere around here is TFC's portal as well, and then there's mine over there in the distance. So that's another project for the future. But I guess this one I thought would be a little bit more interesting. But we got to spend some time here at the station, and it's a very nice station. And I'm looking forward to doing the redstone stuff with Red Eyes. But that is it for this episode. If you have enjoyed it, please do remember to leave a like. It will always be appreciated. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.